I think it's safe to say that when you back a Kickstarter, there's a pretty high chance that it's essentially a donation because you're giving money away to get absolutely nothing in return apart from the feeling of goodwill. And that goodwill goes away once you realize you've been scammed. Now, obviously, there's a lot of genuine good Kickstarters out there, but the one we're talking about today is such a stinker that it raised $4 million only to look like a game from 2005, and it's completely broken. It's safe to say that this game looked about as stable as Battlefield 2042 on launch, so please enjoy. $4 million taken, 5 years developed. Where is the game? So apparently this is one of those like Kickstarters where, you know, companies given literal millions and then they've just got nothing to show for it. Like it's just embarrassing. So, yeah, let's have a look.
A true sandbox survival horror. Fight to survive against a zombie-packed post-apocalyptic world that gives you, the player, freedom to choose how to do so. Settle down inside a house, fortifying the entrances with advanced, expansive crafting and fortification systems, grow crops in a fully fleshed out farming system.
Can I be honest? Is no one bored of this by now? Is no one bored of this trend of like open world, early access, survival DayZ games? Like everything he's just said has been done so many times. Like he just mentioned about growing crops. You do that in Minecraft. Like there is nothing new being added here. Like I remember there was a video game called Apox Z. I'll see if I can find it. Hang on. This is what I played as a kid. This was on the Xbox Live Indie Store, if anyone remembers that. The Xbox Live Indie Store, if no one remembers, they gave anyone the ability with a dev kit to make their own games, and like 99% of stuff sucked. It was terrible. But this was basically a game that had like one village, everything else was just grass, and then there was only like 8 players. It was terrible. I mean, you can literally hear like this was the main player base, by the way, just little children. Hang on, like I was probably one of these kids, honestly.
I'm getting this guy with a gun.
Who's in the car?
Kill him!
Kill him, go on, get him, shank him, said the British man. I wonder if they're still making it. Do you know if it's one of those, it's on Steam? What? They're remaking it? No. You are trolling me. I laugh. It's the same company, it's Sick Creations. I can't buy it, it's coming soon. What the hell? Oh my, look at this. Jesus, this is straight from like 2009. Press E to open. What? Imagine having like a promotional screenshot of your upcoming game saying press E to open door.
Explore, fight, build, survive. This was the pitch for Dead Matter on their Kickstarter campaign back on July 17th, 2017.
Even for 2017 though, that's like so dated. Everything that's been like day and night cycle. Far Cry 3 had that, and that came out in like 2012.
A dream game in a genre that has seen some of the most demand from gamers around the world since the...
I got a WhatsApp call. Why am I getting a WhatsApp call? It was my mom calling me, by the way, if anyone wanted to know. Call my mom back? Okay, I might do. Hello, you're on stream.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, you're on stream.
Hi.
Say hi to chat.
Alright.
Alright.
Hi, chat. Alright. How's chat?
How is chat? I'm looking at chat now. There's like a delay on stream. I'm trying to see the reaction. They're saying,
Okay, chat.
they're saying hi Pyro's mum.
Hi, Pyro Mummy. Oh,
Hi Pyro
okay,
mum.
thanks.
I just wanted to call you on stream. Yeah, whatever you wanted to call about, I'll talk to you later.
Of course. So, just give me a call when you're done on stream, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no worries. We'll do.
Have a good one. Love you.
Love you too. Bye 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 bye.
Ew, he says he loves his mom. That's gay.
But Johnny Guitar made it very clear he and his small team...
I just for clarification, she's not actually like from London. She was doing a bit. She doesn't go, alright, from London, mate. That was a bit. I just want to clarify that.
We're looking to create a standalone version of the game to turn the fan project into a real business. The goal
is her name Skylar White? Skylar Comas, yeah.
Was a Kickstarter, but they needed more people on the team, and Johnny's idea for achieving this was to ask random users to private message him if they were interested in giving him money. At this point, a handful of screenshots and a mute.
Okay, so that's the equivalent of like Discord e-begging for Nitro, or the equivalent of... Do you remember in Animal Crossing? What was that character that everyone wanted? Everyone was simping over Raymond, right? You can get Raymond, the little cat in the suit. And you'd get so many Discord degenerates just like DMing and begging people to get that. There's a video I think might still be on YouTube, and it's someone on a server. I want to see if... Yeah. So this person on the server basically said, I have Raymond. So hang on. This is Raymond, right? If anyone's wondering why it's all in Swedish, I'm in Sweden. But this was Raymond, and I think it's literally just because, you know, like cat in maid dress, and everyone was like, oh, it's literally me. Giving away Raymond for 1 million bells. And look at the DMs. Look at the DMs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He sent 2 messages. He's begging. He's going hard. Look at this spam. It's over. It's the worst thing you can do is say you've got Raymond, because you just get so many degenerates just spamming you.
On July 16th, the teaser released, and if you look back, it's pretty comically bad. Despite this, the comments were mostly full of excitement. The next update came 4 months later with developer vlog number 1, part 1 of 2, which released on November 27th, 2012, in which Johnny Guitar shows some technical aspects of the mod like bullet drop, zombies, as well as houses and barricading. And in the second part of the vlog, 11 minutes of in-game footage, running around, shooting zombies, looting things, driving vehicles, and commentary from its creator.
The thing is with these mods that I feel is like the initial concept isn't in bad faith. I think they're genuinely a fan of something and they want to kind of like create it in their own vision. But I think they either get a bit greedy with the money or they just become like complacent, right? Because like the scope of the game gets so big, because I think a lot of these developers, they have like stretch goals and they'll hit them so quickly and then be like, oh shit. And then it gets like so overwhelming. But some of them do legitimately just, they get greedy. They take your money and they just run away.
Just over a week later on December 9th, 2012, Reddit user Nikizor, which also happens to be Johnny Guitar, posted that the Dead Matter closed alpha was here. Users could finally get their hands on this Crysis 2 mod. Following this, they continued to develop the mod as well as working on an apparent standalone game, but it wasn't long until the drama started to kick in. An update that should have been available shortly after the closed alpha release was delayed until April of 2013, months later, due to a rogue staff member taking over the Dead Matter website and Facebook page.
Why does this always happen? You've always got like some rogue guy that like he has way too many logins to stuff than he should have, and he just does absolute like this has happened on so many like YouTuber Discord servers and stuff, like a rogue mod or something. I
talked about less and less, and the focus was clearly on delivering a standalone experience which the developers would be able to monetize effectively. And then nothing. They just stopped posting, they stopped talking about the mod, they stopped talking about the standalone, and everything just went dark. That is until on March 30th, 2016,
9
updates.
updates. 9 updates.
On the
It's
since
over.
deleted website deadmatter.rocks. Unfortunately, due to the fact nobody archived these websites, all of the contents are completely missing. What remains are Reddit images and threads, usually with 1 or 2 comments, and often involving people discussing how they forgot they were even subscribed to the game's Reddit in the first place, and interest seemed to be at an all-time low. That is until December 13, 2016, where Dead Matter made it onto Steam under the umbrella of the since-retired Greenlight program. Greenlight allowed for developers to get their game listed on Steam via popular vote. Within the first few days...
That was, if anyone doesn't remember, Steam Greenlight was one of the worst things Steam has ever done, apart from like, you know, enabling CSGO gambling. There were so many of these like complete dogshit rush games where they would use like bots to updo a game to force it to the front page. Like if a game came through Greenlight, there was basically a 50-50 chance that it was just never going to be updated and it was just a money grab.
Just under 8 months later, on July 17th, 2017, Dead Matter launched their Kickstarter campaign. The goal, as you'll often find on Kickstarter projects, was a laughably small amount, 60,000 Canadian dollars, which is around 50,000 US. Absolutely nothing in terms of making a game, but Dead Matter had been in development for 5 years already. Allegedly. The developers, now known as Quantum Integrity, were no longer just a man making a mod.
Does no one find the irony that like a game company that didn't update its backers and took their money, they renamed themselves to Integrity Software? Sometimes I don't even need to say like a funny bit. It literally just, it writes itself.
Alongside this, they speak a handful of times about their transparent development process, the importance of showing everything to their fans, as well as their vow to
We vow to never delete comments. I wonder how quick that rule was broken. Usually when developers say that they want to hear criticism, the first bit of criticism they get, they'll just end up banning the person straight away.
never delete comments or silence the voices of their followers, an important promise that, while naive, does come into play a little bit.
It's such a dangerous thing when you say that, by the way. Like, we vow to never delete comments. Just like, don't delete comments, but never say you won't. Because by doing that, you will literally have like Reddit vultures hovering you, waiting for you to do it so they can just snipe you and be like, I lied, look, he lied. I swear, like, I have never deleted a YouTube comment in my life, unless it's one of those like sex bots that's giving a dodgy link that will get someone a Trojan. Because like deleting a YouTube comment is the worst thing you can ever do. I remember when Leafy deleted iDubbbz's comment, because iDubbbz made a comment on Leafy's video about his chin, and Leafy deleted the comment, or at least hid the reply. And people picked up on that. iDubbbz picked up on that. Like, it's so dangerous. You should never do it.
Over the next 30 days until August 17th of 2017, the campaign went on to raise $285,784 Canadian, which is around 220,000 US. To raise this amount, the QI team presented what is referred to as stretch goals, in which they promise additional content or features for each milestone of funding reached. These stretch goals had planes and trains, including all infrastructure required to use them, a brand new map modelled after Vancouver Island, along with new enemies, weapons, clothes, vehicles, and places to explore, new interactive AI settlements and factions, radio and radio stations, modular gear, new weapons, enhanced Twitch support, and player-made structures. All of these goals are massive undertakings.
Again, that they're promising so much, but none of that is what isn't already existing, right? Like pre-made structures, player-made structures, Rust, radio stations. You get that in a lot of like custom servers and stuff. Like everything they're offering here is like, I get you don't need to reinvent the wheel per se. Like not every game has to be a huge milestone, but you need to like at least improve on that, right? Because at the minute, everything they're offering, I mean, we'll be overhauling our player settlement, constructive capabilities allowing you to assemble seamless personalized shelters. So you're just going to get a guy living in a building shaped like a penis. What are these options? Why have you got like, you've only got blue and green eye colors, but like 5 shades of each. It's so weird. Body details. It doesn't even say what these sliders do. Also, has anyone noticed when you have weight sliders in a video game, it changes basically nothing? I'm so sick of playing video games when they have a weight slider on a character and it makes them like a centimeter bigger or smaller.
Running a business will know that this would be impossible. However, it didn't stop people.
Wait, they had an unemployed. Okay, that's kind of based. They've got an unemployed perk. They made the Dark Souls deprived class unemployed in this game. That is based. The best thing is as well, like, the deprived class in Dark Souls looks like every Dark Souls player, just a guy sat on his computer in his underwear.
Following the Kickstarter's massive success, QI immediately began selling packages on their own website store, giving latecomers the opportunity to buy in and support development of the definitive zombie survival experience, as well as launching an Indiegogo campaign on the 6th of February 2018 with a goal of $46,000, which went on to raise roughly $1.5 million in the next 30 days. At this point in the story, they've raised all the money they said that they needed, and I could run you through each development blog, which showed an impressively made game and many features people have been yearning for in this genre ever since the initial craze of DayZ mod. However, the most important and interesting parts of the story come from behind the scenes, as well as how the company acted towards fans that supported their shared vision.
I can already see how this is going to end though, because the thing is 1.5 mil is not a lot. For a video game on this scale, it is not a lot. For an indie game or something, like some side scroll or something, okay, maybe, but 1.5 for like an open world, you know, with complex AI, structures, variable weather, day-night cycle, like 1.5 isn't a lot. They would burn through that so quickly. One thing people don't realize is, like with movies and games, companies will literally spend half the budget on advertising. Like whenever you see like how much a film cost on like the Wikipedia page, they've probably spent a quarter of that on advertising alone.
Matter as a project has been plagued with delays since the very inception. All the way back in 2012 with the Crysis 2 mod, there have always been problems. Back then, it was a couple of friends with a shared
not
love
on
of
Discord,
what they were trying to create, and there was no money involved, which makes it much more acceptable to just get things done when you can and not be held to deadline.
I like how his profile picture's the guy from Smiling Friends. I'm just reading it as him.
The project was honestly saved by the Kickstarter. Hooray!
You now have...
Also, I like this, by the way. You see the thumbs up, the okay hand signs, all the nice emojis? On the Pyrocynical server, if I make a single announcement, the first reaction is the skull emoji or, like, someone crying.
Pyro, you make it so easy to make fun of you sometimes. You just complained about weight sliders not making characters fat enough. Come on now.
Okay, did I say fat? I did not say fat. I said they make it 1 centimeter skinny or bigger. The F word was never said. Don't put words in my mouth.
This led to people being rightly unhappy, and when they shared this opinion, you can guess exactly what happened. Censoring dissenting opinions, something the Kickstarter campaign vowed not to.
They blocked comments? What? They said in the contract they would never do so. Guys. What?
Do more questioning of information being
It's like, the game's really good. I really love it. It needs some changes. 9 out of 10 gets banned.
met with incredibly unprofessional behavior and often bans.
Running a community like a dictatorship and then responding to criticism by hiding behind a bot to send sarcastic and petty remarks while simultaneously denouncing those same practices from your community members.
You are permanently being banned for flame baiting. What is flame baiting? What does that mean? Bro, it literally took me like 5 years to understand what fail RP means in Gmod. Like now they're saying flame baiting. You are now permanently banned from the Dead Matter servers for having opinion. Give us the latest news, LMFAO. So Dead Matter, am I right? Yeah, it's pretty dead, not gonna lie. And then he was banned. Okay, that was good. He shed that skin. Not the Discord screenshots. No, it's lit. Whenever Discord, it's like whenever a YouTuber talking about a past event brings up Reddit or Discord, like you know, it's gonna end terribly for absolutely everyone.
An NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, a contract signed by users to prevent them from discussing or showing materials covered under said contract under penalty of punishment, which would include a game ban, as well as potential civil lawsuits should the offender do any significant damage to the studio or their product. Multiple sources, including the CEO of the company, had answered this question frequently. The game would not be under NDA. They would continue to be transparent as they promised in their initial Kickstarter in Indiegogo.
This is what I don't understand about game devs and people. It's like they'll make a Discord for their community, and instead of like, you know, working on the game, which is like the entire reason they have the community, they will just lurk their Discord server all day, hoping to find positive comments, and then they find a negative one, they get their day ruined, and then they just ban them. My Discord, I lurk it sometimes, but I just use it to post announcements. Like I'll occasionally interact with you guys. But, you know, like I don't sit there like, you know, just looking for someone saying something bad about me. Like it's so depressing.
And a couple of months ago, we have been told that no, there wouldn't be any type of NDA, but now it seems like they have switched their mind. Now they are going to be implementing this in the closed alpha.
No, Discord light mode. No. Why if the game was fat though? I'd back $1 million and I'd get the 2 backup weapons. Yeah, definitely. And I'd go to the launch party as well.
The Reddit post detailed how to claim your alpha key from the QI software website, and anyone who backed at an appropriate level in the 3 years of prior crowdfunding would be able to do so. This, as with almost everything regarding Dead Matter, did not go as planned. There were thousands of users who had backed the game who could simply not see their purchase when registering on the website, therefore they couldn't redeem a key. That was if you were lucky enough to get the website to load, which the Dead Matter Twitter account acknowledged with their advice: stop pressing F5, referring to people refreshing the site over and over again in their attempt to gain access, but instead overloading the service.
This is the equivalent of Apple tweeting, "Hey, Green, what's your problem, Green? B-side a long ramp, B-side a long ramp."
These problems, while frustrating, are expected when a game with tens of thousands of hype fans are about to finally get their hands on something they've been dreaming about for, in some cases.
Imagine like not saying, "Okay guys, we've got a lot of server influx right now. We'd really appreciate your patience. There might be some server downtime. We might even look into getting some kind of server upgrade so there's more people available on the site." But no, they just tweet, "Stop spamming F5.
8 years. With a little bit of communication over a couple of days, these issues would resolve themselves. Instead of communicating, however, the developers claimed they were getting...
Play Pathologic 2. I have played it for a little bit. I haven't finished it, but I played the first one for like 10 minutes, and then I played the second one for like 2 hours. One thing I really liked about Pathologic 2 is if you aim a gun at a critical character, you try to fire. You know how in most games... Okay, so a game called Pathologic 2, and there are characters in it that are really integral to the plot. You don't really need to know about it. But you know how in video games, when you fire a gun at a friendly, you'll either fire, and the bullet will just do nothing or just disappear before it hits their head, or it will, you know, you'll raise your weapon or lower it, or you can't even fire. In Pathologic 2, if you try to fire your gun at an unkillable character, your gun just jams. And your character looks at it like, what the fuck, why didn't it fire? Like, I thought that was such a cool feature.
They also claimed the website was being DDoSed, which stands for Distributed Denial of Service, a malicious attack that aims to take a service offline by sending constant...
with 3 hot dogs in the thumbnail.
Holy shit, you remember that? How old are you? Oh my god, now that's a throwback. Jesus.
Bombardments of traffic to that source. And while this could be true, realistically, this distraction was not the biggest issue. These problems were actually a blessing in disguise, just nobody in the public knew it as of yet. When the Discord server was opened again, there were constant updates from the team stating they would keep working to get keys sent out to backers. Behind the scenes, however, there was a key shortage. And I'm not talking about a few hundred of them missing, I mean tens of thousands. Essentially what happened is that when Dead Matter was launching their closed alpha on the Steam platform, to do so they would need to request keys from Valve, the company who owns and operates Steam. Valve, for whatever reason, were holding these keys back from QI, which means there were none to give to the public who would back the game and required those keys to download and play. Now, there's a lot of speculation.
Would you not think to actually redeem the keys first, though, to make sure that they're safe? Why would you just wait until on the day and then be like, okay, let's get the keys. Valve, hand them over, and then they just don't have them because they're still being processed. Like, why would you leave it? Because you've been given 1.5 mil. And I'm assuming from a few people that gave a lot of money. So why would you even wait out that long?
Each person interviewed told the same story regarding the lack of preparedness for this launch, despite it being known about internally for a real long time and coming at the end of a 7-day public countdown. The keys they were due to give to backers were simply not requested until a couple days before the scheduled release, which means when Valve said no, there wasn't any leeway for them to solve the matter without doing a delay.
Why are they all replying in bacon emojis? These are people that have literally been scammed out of hundreds of thousands and they just reply with bacon emoji. I feel whoever did that was having an actual acute mental breakdown.
The CEO, Nick Zorko, or Johnny Guitar as he's known from the start of the story, eventually convinced Valve to give them the keys, but it was in...
Does no one find the irony how the CEO is in hot shit and his Discord banner is one of the Caesar's Legion from New Vegas backing away into a bush like the Homer Simpson gif?
This situation brought about a massive issue for QI, the Dead Matter community, and the potential growth of the business. As part of the arrangement between Nick Zorko, the CEO, and Valve to get these tens of thousands of keys delivered for the closed alpha, Valve also stipulated that keys for the closed alpha could no longer be sold for Dead Matter on any platform.
Someone in chat said, the TikTok voice is hot AF, not gonna lie. Get this man laid. No meme. I'm not even memeing. Straight face. Get this man laid.
That's so mean. I'm going to game end you now. Walter White is outside your door ready to turn you into a dude smoothie.
No, he's not, because after season 5, he died.
Spoiler alert, by the way, spoiler
with
alert.
QI in any capacity, oftentimes actually being banned from the server due to, quote, misinformation. So after the issues with the keys had been resolved and people got into the game, it was clear that development had not been going to plan thus far. Despite the non-disclosure agreement, people were keen to share their opinions online, even if it risked them a ban.
I love this so much. I love when memes are weaponized against a company. It's like the complete opposite use for them, but like it's so good. No, the devs have to put out a full game. It's been years. No, you paid to test a game, not play it. Did you see the way that zombie turned around? Did you see that? I like how the animations were so good, but as soon as he turned around, he literally just did he actually did real life no scope. Look,
it will get there one day. What they had.
The little spin.
It will get there one day. What they had so far.
Oh, hello there.
Now, to address non-disclosure agreements, I can't say that they're not useful in certain limited situations. What I can say is that in gaming, they're often used in a way that hurts you way more than helps you. The closed alpha had reportedly over 60,000 users, and there is no way you will ever contain all of those opinions or prevent people from leaking footage. Having the NDA, however, shows that you are trying to hide something.
I think I disagree with that. I think NDAs are fine with companies and stuff because they actually don't want their shit leaked. Because an NDA is basically, it's a way of saying contractually and legally, if you leak our shit, we can fuck you up. And that's basically a deterrent to stop people from leaking. Obviously, you still have leaks on video games anyway because they don't know who the leaker is or it's a hacker or something. They do it anonymously. I think if you get into a closed early access game that's been backed by people, then yes, you've got every reason to be wary of an NDA. That's an exception. But for the most part, it's people trying to protect their stuff.
There are also a lot of conspiracy theories in the Dead Matter community regarding where the money went and how it may have been misplaced. For example, some people are convinced that Nick Zorko, the CEO, bought himself a mansion.
Why does this always happen? Why is this every time people get Kickstarter money? They always buy like the most extravagant. And you know the worst thing is? These people, they get so much money so quickly and they don't know how to like keep getting that money. They don't reinvest it. They don't do anything with it. Like even if he took the money and ran, if he put it in crypto, he'd actually be able to like, you know, get the money up or even invest it in like housing or stocks, like traditional stocks like gold. But no, he just buys a house and he will not be able to afford the upkeep of that. He'll have to eventually sell it. These people just do not think more than a day ahead. It's so bizarre. They are truly like the NPCs of like of this fucking planet. It's like I saw this video on TikTok today and it was like these crypto bros and they were at a club and they had these like N-gallon bottles of Grey Goose vodka. And Grey Goose vodka, it's not the most expensive vodka in the world, but it's very premium. It is an upmarket vodka. And they're just pouring it on the floor, not wearing it. And you know the type that's like wearing all the Off-White and stuff, like the X on the back? Well, obviously Off-White's fine. I like the brand. But you know when they're all wearing Off-White and they're all wearing like the same shirt, just a different color as well? And it's just like, you know, you're doing that in front of all these people as a flex. Then you're going to walk out the club and probably think, what do we do that for? That cost us like $5K. Man thinks Grey Goose is premium. I said it's upmarket vodka. It's like top shelf. You go to like any supermarket or you go to like any corner shop, it will be on the top shelf.
The public-facing message from QI seems to be that they are heading towards an early access release on Steam, which has been subjected to almost as many delays as the original closed alpha test was, and now is coming sometime in 2023. This brings with it the ability for them to start making money again, selling access to the game, and an end to the non-disclosure agreement, which lets people show the state of dead matter without risking a lawsuit or having some kind of special permission. QI,
I mean, that's better.
Studio management
that is better. Imagine like they release the NDA, so you're able to play the game and record it and upload it onto YouTube. But whenever you play the game, there's just a fat watermark on the screen saying work in progress. And the watermark is like not even transparent, so it just takes up the whole screen. So you can't even see anything.
Using that time to restructure workflows and organize the studio in a more modern manner. The letter penned by this new studio head.
The dog barking like jump scared me. And we've got the TikTok voice again, my arch nemesis.
Which Breaking Bad character would you have hot, passionate sex with? And no, you can't answer Huel.
Probably Skylar. I think Skylar would get it. And a gun would get it, I think, yeah.
Well, actually, pushes up glasses, your season finale is right around the corner.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Owned by the TikTok voice.
Well, actually, you just gave me $30, so thank you.
It reads as if things have been run.
Wait, how's it L having sex with Skylar White? How's it L?
By cowboys for the previous 4 years, and he had to step in and add some order to the chaos. During this letter, Derek recognized the number one problem with development thus far had been a lack of clear direction.
I mean, it wasn't a lack of clear direction. It's more that you gave people janky copies. You didn't even get the Steam keys, and then you banned people that gave the game 9 out of 10 as opposed to 10 out of 10.
While this was supposed to be Nick's vision, he would often disappear from meetings, stop replying to urgent messages regarding issues or direction for the game, and instead work on programming or reprogramming systems that were not a priority or wouldn't even make it into the game.
I like how the guy that made this video is playing sad music like it's a character death or something in Final Fantasy, when it's really just the dev company realizing that they're fucked up really badly.
When they tried to bring this up with Nick, he was often dismissive, sometimes abusive and angry. Multiple employees told me it was commonplace for Nick to scream at people during meetings, especially if they were critical of something relating to the game or his actions. That is, of course, if he was in meetings at all.
Yeah, Nick would also walk into meetings and he'd be like,
You want to see a magic trick? I'm gonna make this pen disappear.
And then he'd slam someone's head onto the table and it'd go in their eye and he'd go, ta-da! Nick was a very weird guy.
On top of this, due to Nick's propensity for making promises to the fans about release dates without consulting anybody within the team, the employees were under constant crunch. So much so that management would literally track their Steam profiles to criticize them if they'd been playing too many games in their spare time and not coming into work instead. Commenting on their relationship status and how they needed to focus more on work, trying to manipulate them to stay for longer hours with remarks like, you were like a brother or sister to me.
Imagine just to keep someone crunching at work, you literally pull the Luke, I am your father, Darth Vader card. It's so pathetic, man. The problem is with these companies, they need to have like actual goals that they know that they can hit. They become so infatuated with like these stretch goals and like pleasing people that they just end up tripping over themselves. And then they get greedy and they buy a mansion.
Hey Pyro, there is a guy eating Cheetos in chat. Can you turn on the subtitles for them ?
Oh yeah, of course, my bad, sorry. I will do.
these blogs to Nick, he was furious in our DMs, saying this was, quote, unacceptable. I can't believe this happened. This is disgusting behavior, etc. Unfortunately, nothing ever happened to the studio manager other than a slap on the wrist and a lame, forced apology. As a result of this, most of the experienced team who could have made the game left for greener pastures, which is a self-fulfilling prophecy of digging the game into a deeper hole.
That doesn't even look like a zombie. It looks like average man in Ohio. Like, he's still got a good head of hair though, considering he's got like a virus that's killed him. So what is that? He looks worse than the zombie. The zombie actually looked alright. This guy looks terrible. Okay, you know it's bad when the zombie has better hairline than you. There is a core issue with your game right there.
When speaking to the unnamed sources, I asked each of them if the game was a scam. They all said no, but it would likely have been a better result if it had been one.
Imagine saying that, like these are past employees, they've got nothing to lose because they're doing it completely anonymously, and they just go, no, it wasn't a scam, but it should have been, because it would have ended up better. I love when devs, to show off their game, they'll show like these ambient environments where they're reloading and shooting like an AK or a shotgun, and it's just like, you could literally just overlay it with any first-person shooter in the past like 9 years, and you would have no idea what game it is.
In fact, Dead Matter had a budget infinitely bigger than anyone could have hoped for, and orders of magnitude higher than what the original Kickstarter pitch claimed to need. What many people do not know is that Dead Matter and QI as a studio are living on borrowed time and have been for a while. The crowdfunding money ran out long ago. The majority of it was wasted in code, art, employees that have since come and gone. The question people should have been asking, how do you keep expanding your team while having no source of income? The answer, according to the people I interviewed, is that QI received heavy investment from none other than everyone's favorite mega corporation from China, Tencent. Now, this is not out of the ordinary for gaming, as Tencent have been doing their very best to gobble up as many Western development studios and games as they possibly can, big or small.
Tencent actually terrifies me for how much money they have. They have, like, I think they are one of the biggest companies in China, if not the biggest. They are just this huge conglomerate that tries to just eat everything. But they own League and Supercell. Pyro, the type of guy to play Clash of Clans professionally. I greased it a bit when I was a kid, like when it first came out. I really wanted to get that, what's that knight called? Pekka or something? But you had to like pay so much money to get it or play the game for like 4 years. So I was poor then. I was a little child. So I just gave up.
So many people requested this video, as Dead Matter has an incredibly high number of disgruntled backers and ex-employees. However, unlike in many of the other Kickstarter to court series, they seem to suffer from incompetence and not from malevolence. The only court the Dead Matter is going to, at least for now, is the court of public opinion. There doesn't seem to be any misappropriation of funds from my investigation. They are offering refunds to people who back the game and are unhappy with current development, and they're still actively trying to work on an eventual release. Although in my opinion,
nothing goes hand in hand like Kickstarters and failed games. I mean, it's better than the PS5 because it has no games.
And it's unlikely to materialize in any way that delivers on what people got excited about all those years ago.
Yeah, it just seems to be every Kickstarter ever. Like, it's just, very, their goals are way too ambitious and then they just fall under themselves. Like, there's so many cases of this. It's not even funny.